Welcome back to Travel Trailer Nation, everybody. I thought I would do a quick video on the trip up north. We were gone for over, I would say we were gone 35 days, maybe a little bit longer than that. Wanted to let you know the things that didn't quite work out the way we planned. And that's why I always say take tools along if you can, and how many you take is up to you and what you're anticipating. I had all the tools I needed to effect the repairs, except I never take drill bits with me, and I think maybe I'll add them to the list. We'll see. They don't add much weight, but I could have used them. So let's talk about the things that went wrong. Some of this you know because you've seen my short clips on them, but the first thing that we had an issue with was obviously the toilet. And the ball valve on that had gotten increasingly worse as we went north, and I decided after watching some videos on what it would be like to repair the ball valve, I decided to just buy a whole new base. And that was the right decision, because shortly after that, when I was flushing the toilet, we heard a piece of plastic ricochet around in the bathroom, and then the valve wouldn't open at all. So fortunately, I already had the base inside the trailer. I spent the next 2 hours removing the old base, separating it from the bowl, putting the new base on, and reinstalling it. Now, it probably would have gone a lot faster had mating the two pieces up after I had the replacement parts gone easier. It was a little bit of an ordeal. Not terrible, it's not rocket science. And got it done, and man, what a difference. So very happy about that. Second thing is this mysterious leak that we've had going on at the bathroom sink. Now, I've had the faucet replaced in there. I did that myself. I've also ended up having to replace the sink because it had a crack in it. And there is just, it doesn't happen all the time that all of a sudden you'll have like a little water coming down. And I think now I have taken the lines off, put them back on again, and I did a pressure check today, which I'll show you what I do. I just put a little cutoff valve on a short piece of hose, and I have the water pressure regulator on that, so I charge the lines with water, turn off the valve so no water can come out, and then I went away for a half an hour, came back, and the pressure gauge was exactly where it was before. So I feel pretty confident that taking the lines apart and putting them back together again solved that problem. The third thing was the cabinet next to the couch. And I remember telling you in a video not too long ago that it would not surprise me if I didn't have to rebuild the other cabinet, because I've already fixed one. Those cabinets are not made well. They are not made like a cabinet should be made. They are the cheapest construction you can imagine, with just a couple small trim strips, one on the wall of the trailer without anything under it to give it support. So, and I will do a video on repairing that and showing you what I think the appropriate fix is for it. And the only thing that's ever been in there is the sink cover. So if you can imagine that, it probably weighs all of 2 pounds. And it actually broke the bottom out of that cabinet, the base bottom out of that cabinet. So I have that ahead of me to work on, which I will probably do maybe in late December, because we'll be getting ready then for the trip, and I can pull the trailer out and deal with it easier than trying to finagle in there and do it. But who knows? Depends on how bored I get. Last thing that we had an issue with was one of the TPMS sensors. We were going down the highway and we got the no signal message, which usually means that there's a battery problem. So pulled over, put a new battery in. I carry plenty of spares, and that went away. A little while later, we got another reading that there was no signal, which surprised me because I replaced those batteries not that long ago. So I replaced that battery, and that was on the passenger side front. And then it went from a no signal error message to basically a pressure issue. And I could not figure it out. And I went through the owner's manual trying to determine what was going on, because it seemed like there was a set point that was off, and trying to read it on the phone wasn't very easy. So I gave Tire Minder a call. They have great support, great support network, and she ran me through how to check what the set point was, and I did that and it was way off. So I reset that to 80 PSI, which is what the cold air pressure reading should be on that tire, and never had another problem. So that's kind of the 4 things that went on over the course of the trip. They're not major issues. They're easy to deal with. The cabinet's obviously not a deal breaker. The toilet's a deal breaker. You want to make sure that if you're having issues, you deal with them pretty quick, because otherwise, in our case, that ball wouldn't even open after it broke. So it would have been hiking to bathrooms the rest of the trip, which would have been probably 2.5 to 3 weeks of hiking to bathrooms and campgrounds. So I'm happy we got that fixed, and the sink issue seems to be resolved, so that's good. So until the cabinet repair takes place, I think we're in pretty good stead. And you know, so that's it. Always take a number of tools with you so you can effect the repairs. I did have one other issue, and that was the skirting on the trailer coming down the metal skirt. Eva goes under there quite often, and one time she was coming out from under there and I heard what sounded almost like a cartoon sound, boing. Well, what happened is she broke the metal support off of the actual metal piece that hangs down, and I ended up having to kind of jury rig a self-tapping screw inside my drill to make a hole and then refasten that piece. And so now, you know, ordinarily she doesn't take that much of a toll on that skirting, but we were in a site where the front end had to go down pretty low to get level, and I think that probably complicated matters. I may have to rethink letting her go under there, but, you know, we've had a number of years where it hasn't really been an issue, but she is kind of a bull in a china shop most of the time, so we'll see. She actually, when she broke it, actually broke the metal, so I did have to move over about 1/4 of an inch, but that's done and I'm not going to worry about it anymore. So that's it. Until next time, happy camping and take your tools.